All right, guys, we're back. This is Goose and Doke. We're back with the Goosecast. I don't know what week we're on in terms of sequential order. I do know what week we're on in terms of the season. It's the most important week of the year. It's the first week of playoffs. We've got a jam-packed playoff preview guide at the end of this show that's going to walk you through a whole suite of things. Any question you have pertaining to the playoffs, we're going to try to hit on it. So that's at the end. We're going to start off, though, with a little bit different. We're not going to review Week 9 in particular. We're actually going to do a regular season review in awards section. So top offense, top defense, look at who survived, Survivor Island through the regular season, all that sort of things. We're going to keep that short and snappy, that section, because we know you guys want info on the playoffs. Who doesn't? It's the most important time of the year. You worked all year to get here, and it's win or go home. So that's our plan for today. Doke, did I miss anything in that?
No, I don't believe so.
Before we get to that, I got to tell you guys, we just raised an elementary school down in Cincinnati, Ohio, K-6 building, $40,440. And the way we did that is with Teamfi. Teamfi is Doke and I's company. We started it a few years ago. We do free digital fundraisers for schools and teams, not just sports teams, schools, as you can see, youth groups. Hey, if you got a nonprofit or a club team, you can use Teamfi. Sans Montessori, this K-6 building, they just rocked it, raised almost 2.5 times their goal. They wanted to raise $17,000. Ended up raising $40,440. And the best part, guys, Teamfi took nothing out of that fundraiser. That's right. They paid just standard credit card processing fees. They're going to net like 96.5 cents on the dollar from that number. And yeah, so if you're interested in getting that kind of result, you got a school group or a team and you don't know what kind of fundraiser you want to do, you need money for the season, hit us up, www.teamfi.works. We'll get you set up and you can start raising money today, and we'll show you, hey, this is how Sans Montessori did it. This is how they blew past 2.5x their goal. So check it out. All right. Regular season. Doke. A little bit different of a section today. We're not going to walk through Week 9, guys. Week 9's in the past. Frankly, I don't think too many people care about Week 9. At this point, it's all about Week 10. It's win or go home. We are down to 256 teams. We're going to talk about that a little later on in the show. But first, of our teams remaining, who had the best regular season? So Doke's going to walk us through. He's got 3 superlatives here. Doke, who's our top offense, our top defense, and our best margin of victory? Go.
All right, that's a good question, Cannon. Let's start with the best offenses in the state. We made a graphic on this yesterday, but let's talk about it a little bit more. So the best offense in the state, averaging 57 and almost a half points, Ottawa Lake Whiteford. Wow. I mean, I don't know what the data was on this last year. We didn't really track it, but that is a lot of points a game. It's hard to lose any football games when you're putting up 57 in a quarter. So congrats to Ottawa Lake Whiteford on that. The second best offense in the state is Ann Arbor. Father Gabriel Richard putting up 52 on the dot a game. I mean, we've seen this every week. They're always putting up a ton of points. They went 9-0. Not a surprise. Congrats to Ann Arbor, Father Gabriel Richard. And then the third best offense in the state, averaging just about 50 points a game, DeWitt. They're the number 1 team in D3. No secret, they're really good, and they always put up a ton of points every year. They've been to the state finals. They've won state titles. I mean, DeWitt, a good football team there. Hudson, they broke the 80 barrier once, just like Ottawa Lake Whiteford. They average about 50 points a game, 49.5 to be exact. And, I mean, they're just a really good offense. They dominate Division 8, and they are the number 2 team in Division 8 for a reason. So congrats to them on being the 4th best offense in the state this year. Those are your teams averaging about 50 and above. Let's jump into the best defenses in the state. Through the regular season, no secret here, Portage Central, they're giving up 2 points a game. They've given up 18 points all year. That's less than 3 touchdowns in 9 games. I mean, wow. That's definitely the best defense we've had in a couple of years. Porter Central, not only are they putting up a ton of points on offense, they're holding people to about nothing on defense, and they play in a big division. You know, they have a pretty tough region. They'll have some big matchups coming up here. So let's see if that defense holds strong. But congrats to them on the best defense of the regular season. The second best defense of the regular season, Pewamo Westphalia, just giving over just 3 points a game. They only played 8 games, so maybe that helps them a little bit, but I don't think it mattered much. They were a absolute powerhouse on defense and offense this year. They dominated D7. They played a lot of big games, and they absolutely dominated every single one of them. So congrats to Pewamo Westphalia on the second best defense in the state this year. Third best defense, Beale City, giving up just about 3.5 a game. I mean, that is impressive. I mean, that's 30 points, 30 some points the whole year. So if you can imagine giving up 3 points a game, it's hard to lose football games. That's why they're 9-0, folks. This team is for real. They're defending state champs. They have the third best odds to win Division 8. I mean, it's no secret how good they've been all year and how good they've been historically. Beale City, the third best defense. Congrats on that, guys. And then the fourth best defense, Montrose. The Rams come in 9-0. They come into the playoffs. One of the favorites in D6, 4.2 points a game, just like everybody else. That's just about 5 touchdowns all year. I don't know if anybody knows this, but you play 9 games, so 5 touchdowns all year in 9 games. That's hard to do. So congrats to the Montrose Rams. We'll be watching them in the playoffs. They're 9-0. The fourth best defense in the state this year. Now just let's look at who dominated their schedule the most. The teams who just dominated the most overall, you'll see a lot of repeats here just because teams who gave up little points and scored a lot, they were dominant. So Ottawa Lake Whiteford, they're up there. Portage Central, Pewamo Westphalia, Beale City, Hudson, DeWitt, Gabriel Richard, Cass Tech, Portland, Montrose. They're all in your top 10. Congrats to all those teams.
Don't leave out the Orioles.
Where are they at?
Oh. Below Hudson.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, Ludington. All those teams are in your top 10. No secret there. A lot of them 9-0, maybe one-loss teams. They've been dominating every team they play, and they're heading into the playoffs with something to prove. We'll see. We will see. So congrats to all those teams for being in the superlative awards of the regular season, and good luck to the playoffs. In the playoffs, yeah.
Thank you, Doak. Those are your statistical category leaders coming out of the regular season. It'll, of course, be interesting to keep tabs on that and see who finishes the year as the highest scoring offense. Next up, we're going to look at Survivor Island. This is something we've been keeping tabs on all year. We keep tabs every year. How many undefeated teams made it through the regular season without a loss? Doak, how's Survivor Island looking?
Survivor Island has 29 inhabitants through 9 weeks. So we have less than, how many teams are in high school football?
Almost 500.
So 500. we have less than 10% left. Not a surprise. It's hard to go 9-0, 8-0. It's going to get interesting now because everybody's going to have some tough matchups. So, it's really going to fall off fast here in the playoffs. It's hard to win an undefeated state title. I'll tell you that much. It doesn't happen much, maybe once or twice a year. So we got our eye on that. But 29 people made it through the regular season unscathed. Congrats to those teams. I'm not going to list them all here. We posted a graphic about it, so go check it out if you're interested in those teams. And we even posted when they last had that record and how that season wrapped up. So if you're interested in something like that, check out our social medias.
Let's talk about our number one teams going at the end of the year. All right, guys, this is our last batch of end-of-season awards. We're going to reward the top-rated team in each division to finish the year. And so really what this is your post-week 9 computer ratings. I'm going to walk you through it. You'll know the number one team in each division heading into the playoffs. So this is statistically the number one team. Let's get into it. So, number one in D1, on the final week, Detroit Catholic Central overtakes East Kentwood. They are your number one team heading into the playoffs. A lot of people around the state have them or Cass Tech flip-flopped. We've got them 1 and 2 here. The Shamrocks, congrats. You end the regular season with the regular season title. The regular season Goose Poop title. Whatever that means. D2. It's the same team it's been all year. Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Porter Central finishes very close to taking that title. They're 3 points off of OLSM. But congrats to the Eaglets. They take the D2 best team in D2 title through 9 weeks. In D3, DeWitt, they came on strong near the end and extended their lead. They are currently 3 points ahead of DPSL team Detroit King. The Panthers of DeWitt take your regular season title in D3. In D4, we're going to jump down. It's been the same team all year. Harper Woods. Harper Woods is 9-0. They have defeated 2 top-ranked D1 teams, so large enrollment gap. They are certainly, by the eye test, well-deserving. They take your D1 title. The next team that's closest to them is actually a tie between Portland and Ludington. They're only 4 points off. So Portland and Ludington, if they played Harper Woods, only 4-point dogs for the model. We'll see if that rings true in the playoffs, but congrats to Harper Woods. D4 regular season title per Goose Poop. In D5, a team that's no stranger to the top and has been near the top all year long, Grand Rapids Catholic Central. They are your D5 regular season champion. I will tell you guys, though, and this is a little sneak peek of where the show's going later. Notre Dame Prep has come on strong. They're less than a 2-point underdog to the Cougars of Catholic Central, and they are actually your D5 favorite based on how the bracket shook out. And so that's a little sneak peek. Don't tell anybody. We're going to get to that later in the show. But GRCC, congrats, regular season title in D5. In 6, let's jump to 6. Lumen Christi. I don't think anyone's going to be shocked by that. They've been near the top all year long. There's a touchdown gap between them and the next closest team, which is Kingsley. 7. Let's talk about 7. 7 is a UP show. In fact, it's very similar to D6. Menominee has about a touchdown gap between them and Puamo Westphalia. We'll see if that holds as we go through the playoffs. We might not get the matchup there between Puamo and Westphalia and Menominee to the later rounds, if it happens at all. But keep tabs on that. We have Menominee, our lone UP regular season champion, taking home the D7 regular season title. In D8, our final division, they've been flip-flopping the last 2 weeks, but Harbor Beach edges out Hudson for the regular season title. Guys, these two teams, it really feels like there's a date with destiny. They've been so close all year, computer model-wise, or of late. They both are orange and black. I don't think that has any bearing on things, but kind of fun. Looks like that is for sure going to be a matchup you see in the playoffs. We'll see. Harbor Beach currently has the edge on Hudson by 1.5 points. So, congrats to Harbor Beach on their D8 regular season title. Guys, that's your top team in each division going into the playoffs. So, on a neutral field, who would the computer favor over anyone else in their division? It's that team. Now, that doesn't necessarily make you the favorite. And this is a little prelude to our section that's coming down the pipe here. Doesn't necessarily make you the favorite. Why? Because your draw isn't equal. So, for instance, Grand Rapids Catholic Central is going to have to play D4 or D5 number 4 West Catholic in their district. If favorites win. Well, that's a very tough draw, right? And they might only be favored 50-50 in that game, whereas Notre Dame Prep has a much easier draw. And so statistically, Notre Dame Prep is the favorite because they don't have as high of a hurdle to clear to make the finals. That's just kind of a math inside baseball math moment there. I'm sorry if that's boring, but that's what we mean when we say favorite. And there's going to be many other instances of that as we go through the show today. So just kind of keep that moment in the back of your head. Doak, anything else I should cover in this section here?
No, I would only say, there's a lot of there's a lot that the numbers can tell you, but there's a lot that they can't. So that's why we have playoffs. So you can be upset about a rating or want a team in the rating, and you know what? They'll show up sooner or later if they keep winning football games. The computer uh, has no favorites. They just rank the teams on numbers. So we'll see. That's the fun part about playoffs is we get to find out. We'll get to find out for real who the best team is. We just do it for fun with the computer. So let's jump into playoffs and start figuring out who the best teams in the state are or who the best draws are and toughest districts, things of that nature. But first, I think Cannon has something to say about Teamfi.
Yeah, so before we get to playoffs, guys, have you ever seen a calendar fundraiser? Kind of fun. A lot of people doing pen and paper style. Basically, you give every kid a 31-day month, every kid in your group, and their goal is to fill up the calendar with a donation on each day. When you donate the day, the dollar amount that you give is the date of the day. So day one's $1, day two's $2, day three's $3. Yeah, they're all small dollar amounts, but if you sum that up, 1 plus 2 plus 3 all the way to 31, it actually sums to a nice amount. It's $496. So if a student fills up their calendar, they raise $496. And the fun part, besides the amounts, is when you're donating the days, you're leaving your name on the days that you donated. So everybody sees who donated what day, right? I land on week 1 and I see, oh, wow, grandma gave all of week 1. Maybe I want to compete with grandma, and I leave on week 2, Uncle Goose. And so everybody sees that Uncle Goose donated week 2. That calendar fundraiser you can run digitally on Teamfi's platform. It is one of our most popular products. If you're interested, if you got a school group or a team and you want to get that fundraiser running, hit us up, www.teamfi.works. Hit the sign up button. I'll walk you through it personally, how to set up. You'll be ready to go in 30 minutes, and you can start raising money that day. So again, www.teamfi.works. Check it out. We're going to jump into playoffs. Playoff preview. First segment I want to start with is not a fun one, but it's an interesting one. And that is, who is the best team to miss in each division? Said another way, how accurate were we, meaning our playoff point formula that we voted on, in getting the right teams into the playoffs? I'm going to walk you through it right now. So, we ready? Let's go. D1. Our top 20? No. What do we got here? Our top 18 teams all made the playoffs. So our top 18 teams. Our 19th best team was Caledonia. They did not make the playoffs, and that is your best team left out in D1. The Fighting Scots. They actually beat a playoff team in the last week of the year. They beat Jenison. If we were doing things based on the Goosebook computer model, we would say Caledonia deserved to be in. That's team 19. Holland West Ottawa is in that bucket as well. We had them as team 25. We would say, hey, they were deserving to make it. Lake Orion and Grand Haven. Wow, the whole OK Red deserved to make it as well, per us. They did not make it. And that is about it. So we got 28 teams. 28 teams in the D1 playoffs qualified that should have, per us, and just 4 missed. So congrats. I think that's a pretty darn good formula. Let's do the same thing in D2, guys. And apologies to those who are going to sit through this whole reading, but we're going to do it. So D2, how well we do. Well, the top 17 teams made it. Top 17. So the whole top half of the bracket made it. I think that's always a good sign. Grand Rapids, Forest Hills Northern, team 18. They were your most deserving team to miss. And we would have had them as an 18 seed in our 32-team bracket. They missed. Sorry to the Huskies. You deserve to be there per Goose Poop. Other teams that missed. Saginaw Heritage. That's team 21. And Oak Park, team 22. Both deserve to be there. Midland, the Chemics of Midland, team 25. Also deserve to be there. Grand Rapids Northview, team 27. Milford, team 29. We talked about Milford last week on the show. They had a must-win game. And that is the extent of it. Those are your teams that miss. So D2 a little bit more choppy, but still not too bad. We got 26 of the 32 teams right, 6 teams left out, and they were all below seed, all at seed 18 and below. That's still pretty good. So far, so good. I would say we're doing a pretty good job getting the right teams in. Let's look at 3. D3. D3, how'd we do? Again, down to Team 18, pretty good. It's Team 19 that did not make it in. This will be a familiar name to many. River Rouge did not make it in. We had them as the 19th seed if they would have gotten in the playoffs. So River Rouge, that's your Team 19. They're your best team in D3 left out. Petoskey is your next team. They're Team 26. Fruitport is Team 29. They deserve to be in there. And that's really, if I'm looking at this, all she wrote. Those three teams. So we got 29 of the 32 teams that should have been in. So really good job at D3. We've mostly got the bracket. We're just missing Fruitport, Petoskey, and Harper Woods, all of which were seeded 18 and below. Let's do D4. Take a look. D4 is perhaps your worst one. I'll confirm this in a second. But basically, Detroit Country Day would be team number 16. So they would be expected to make the second round of the playoffs and won't be in the playoffs this year. So that said another way, Detroit Country Day is supposed to be a district finalist per Goose Poop. They're one of the top 16 teams in D4, and they are not in the playoffs. Now, they are team 16, so they're just barely in that group, but we have them as should have been in the playoffs. They did not make it. And so perhaps that's your best team in all of the divisions to not make it. We'll confirm that at the end. I actually don't know that as we're going. Other teams that should have been there. Ada Four Stills Eastern. Marshall. Marshall is team 20. Ada Four Stills Eastern is team 19. Cross Lex. Cross Lex is team 25. Hamilton is your last one at team 31. And so, guys, just to say again, we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in D4 that should have been there. Hamilton, Crosslex, Marshall, Ada Four Stills Eastern, and Detroit Country Day. Detroit Country Day being the lone team thus far that missed the playoffs that would have been projected to make the second round if Goose was seeding things. All right, let's go to 5. In D5, how we doing? Oh, just sorted my thing wrong. So D5's looking pretty good as I go through this. I think I'm at 25. The top 25 teams in D5 all made it. Wow. Congrats. That's an impressive job by our playoff point formula system. Team 26, the first team that should have made it, is Lakewood. So your 26 seed missed out. Your 28 seed, Shepherd, also missed out. 29 seed. Muskegon, Orchard View, and Grayling round things out. They should have been there as well. So just 4 teams missing: Muskegon, Orchard View, Grayling, Shepherd, and Lakewood. Those 4 teams all should have been in. Curiously enough, I know there's a lot of controversy or articles being written on Whitmore to Lake. The Trojans, I believe, are 7-2 and the first 7-2 team to ever miss the playoffs in our new formula. The Goose Poop commuter model, for what it's worth, and that's a rain on their parade, says that they are actually team 33. And so would not be seeded in the Goose Poop playoffs either. So that's just an interesting note. They were the first team out in the playoff point formula and the first team out in the Goose Poop computer model as well. So take note of that. Just an interesting thing. All right, let's go to 6. How are we looking in 6? Well, 6, we've got the first 22 teams are in there. Is that right? Is this sorted correctly? Yes. First 22 teams are in there, but then we're missing quite a lot. So 23, 24, and 25 are all out. Caro, Lansing Catholic, and Gladstone. Brooklyn Columbia Central is also out there. Your team 27. Mason County Central, team 28. Hart, team 29. Kalkaska, team 30. Those teams are all deserving per us. So that's 7 that we've gone through. They all should have been in there. And what are we at here with Manistee is team 32. So in D6 is actually the division that we're missing the most teams that we should have had. Manistee, Kalkaska, Hart, Mason County Central, Brooklyn Columbia Central, Gladstone, Lansing Catholic, and Caro. That is a whopping 8 teams. That is a quarter of our bracket that's missing. Now, these are all round one teams, round one and out, as we would project them, right? If you're seeding them down to 32. So you're not missing any of your favorites, so to speak. But if you look at D6, you would say, okay, wow, the playoff point formula did the worst job here so far. I don't know how D7 and D8 are doing. So just an interesting thing to take note of. Let's go to 7. In 7, we have our top 24 teams in the playoffs. So very good job. Very similar to D5, where most of your best teams are in. Sandusky is team 25. They missed the playoffs. Benzie Central is team 28. They missed the playoffs. And Coloma is team 31. They missed the playoffs as well. So those are your misses. Only 3 misses in D7. So the field, I mean, that's dead to, that's pretty good job there out of the playoff point formula. 29 of 32 teams, and you're only missing team 25 and down. So congrats there. Good job. Playoff point formula. Good job. D8, that's our final division. Let's take a look at it. Team 15. We got the top 15. So similar. It's almost identical to D4, right? It is identical to Team 4. Team 16 is your highest team left out here. That's Ubley. Ubley will be no stranger to you. They won, or they made the finals and actually won a title in D8 just a few years ago. They've made several finals trips in D8. They are, a program with no stranger to tradition of success. They would have been seeded to make a second round game in the Goose Poop if Goose Poop was seeding the brackets. So identical to Country Day. So Team 16 is left out. Our next team left out is Vassar. Vassar's Team 22. Marlette is Team 27. St. Louis is Team 32. So we're just missing 4 teams. St. Louis, Marlette, Vassar, and Ubley. All of those should have been in the playoffs, so pretty much nailed the playoff field. Ubley being a second-round team. So, guys, in summary, how well did the playoff point system do? Pretty well. I would say we're missing on average around 4 teams per division. So it gets 28 of the 32 teams right. And do we miss anyone that should be in there? Only 2 teams, I would say, are second-round teams that should be in there. Ubley, 16 seed, and Detroit Country Day, 16 seed. So both kind of the worst teams that would make the district finals in their brackets. So still not crazy far off, but but could definitely win a playoff game, I guess is what I'm saying. So that's how well the playoff point formula system does a pretty good job. And yeah, that's what we got. Those are the best teams that missed the playoffs. Doak, anything you want to interject here? That was a long segment.
No, I think it's important to consider how well the system did. It did its job for the most part. It stinks when good teams are left out of the playoffs, but I don't know how you could do much better unless you were using our models. So congrats to the teams that made it, and to the teams that didn't. There's always next year.
Let's go look at districts, okay?
Yeah, toughest districts.
I'm going to throw you – okay, so this segment's also going to be a little bit longer, guys. Remember, this is the bracket preview, right? So we got to go through every division's bracket. Now, we're going to try to hop around in an efficient manner, but that does mean every time we talk, we got to talk 8 divisions, okay? So I'm going to start off with how balanced is each bracket, and I'm going to get at this through one singular question. I'm not going to look at this in multiple different ways. And the way I'm going to look at this is let's compare the top district and the bottom district in each division and see how far they are off. All right. And guys, there's some things that are going to really wow you here. Okay. So remember, and then for those who are not Michigan high school football experts, we seed our districts. We don't seed anything else. Everything else is geographic. So we group the districts by geography. We group other 2 districts together into a region by geography. We group 2 regions together into a semi by geography, etc. So everything's geographic outside of the teams that play within the district. All right. And that's how we end up with very lopsided brackets. I'm going to talk to you about some right now. So let's start. So in Division 1, your top overall district is Clarkston, Grand Blanc, Davison, and Oxford. I don't think that's going to shock a lot of people. Those are two teams that are near the top 5, Clarkson and Grand Blanc. Davison, which is just outside the top 10. And so you've got 3 basically top 11, top 12 teams there, all in the same district. All of those teams should be playing in week 2 of the playoffs, and at least one of them is going to go home. Your bottom district is Saline, Brownstown, Woodhaven, Belleville, and Salem. Now, guys, this is actually a very balanced bracket. And how I'm going to measure this is Clarkson, Grand Blanc, Davison, and Oxford are 2 touchdowns better on average than Saline, Woodhaven, Belleville, and Salem. And you might be saying, wow, that's crazy. The average team there is 2 touchdowns better than the average team in the bottom district. Well, just wait. Just wait till we get to the other districts. That's pretty balanced as far as they go. So D1, pretty balanced, I would say, on my balance track. Right? Let's jump down to D2. In D2, our toughest district is Orchard Lake St. Mary's. That's our top team. Brother Rice, who just beat Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Walled Lake Western and North Farmington. Our bottom district is Carlson, Allen Park, Bedford, and Lincoln Park. What is the separation there between the top district and the bottom district? 23 points. So now we're up to a 3 touchdown and some change gap. D2, a little more unbalanced than D1. About maybe even a lot more unbalanced, right? That's 50% more unbalanced. So check that. That's something to look into at D2. We'll jump down to D3. D3 is actually your most balanced district. I don't think anyone had this on their bingo card, but Kanawha Hills, Cedar, East Grand Rapids, and Coopersville, sort of almost the RCA district. East Grand Rapids being the lone not an RCA team. They're your top district in D3, deepest district. They are 13.75 points or 2 touchdowns better than the bottom district, which is Fenton, Adrian, Ypsi-Lincoln, and Holly. That's your bottom district. So not too much of a gap in comparing across all the divisions. This is your most balanced bracket. Best district is only 2 touchdowns better than the worst district. Let's jump down to D4. D4 is somewhere in the middle here. The top district being Ludington, Big Rapids, Escanaba, and Freeland. Those 4 teams are 19.4 points, or almost 3 touchdowns better than the bottom district, which is Harper Woods, Lutheran North, Chandler Park, and Centerline. Now, some of those listeners who are listening closely might be like, well, what do you mean? How can Harper Woods be in the worst district? They're the top team in D4. Well, guys, this is by average team rating. And the other 3 teams that Harper Woods is with are 3 of the lowest seeded teams in D4 is how I would put it. And so that just kind of shows, Harper Woods is in there. Great. They're the number 1 overall seed, but the 3 lowest seeded teams are with them as well. 3 of the lowest seeded teams. So again, in the grand scheme of things, guys, we're not even to the lower divisions yet. 19 points of separation there between districts is not that bad. It's not that bad. Just wait till we get there. Okay. We're coming to some crazy imbalances here. Okay. D4, D5. Our top district is Frankenmuth, Richmond, Armada, Yale. It's our BWAC plus Frankenmuth. They are 24.5 points, so our largest degree of separations thus far in our analysis. They're 3.5 touchdowns, almost 3 full scores better than the worst district, which is Michigan Center, Ann Arbor Father Gabriel Richard, Romulus, and Detroit Cody. That is your worst district. And so 24.5 points of separation there. Let's jump down. So, guys, the theme here as we get lower in the divisions is the imbalances get wider. So, balanced brackets in the upper divisions, non-balanced brackets in the lower divisions. For instance, in D6, you've got by far your worst imbalances. The top district, Kingsley, St. Francis, Calumet, and Boyne City, is a whopping 5 touchdowns better than your worst district, which is Detroit Edison, Warren Michigan Collegiate, Detroit Central, and Detroit Pershing. In fact, every team in that top district would be favored to win over any team in that bottom district. Crazy. Kingsley and St. Francis and Calumet are all top 5 D6 teams. They're all going to play each other in this district. And so that's a crazy level of imbalance. It's a crazy level of imbalance, and that's just the way things shake out. So just kind of write that one down in your notes. It's something to watch out. I've got a very similar theme coming here in D7. In fact, it's almost identical, and it actually gets worse. D7 is your most imbalanced bracket. It is your most imbalanced bracket. Monroe, St. Mary Catholic Central, Ottawa Lake, Whiteford, and Clinton are all top 5 D7 teams. They are all capable of winning a state title this year. They are a whopping 40 points better than the bottom district in D8 or in D7. Millington, Rochester Hills, Lutheran Northwest, Burton Bendel, and Detroit Community. Now, again, similar to another division we were just talking about, a lot of people will be like, what do you mean, Millington? They're the reigning D7 state champion. It's not Millington that's bringing this down, all right? It's the other 3 teams are probably 3 of the lower seeded teams in D7. They're all in there. And so that's kind of bringing this rating down. The average rating of the top division, like I said, is 40 points better. Top district is 40 points better than the bottom district. So just a lot of imbalance there in D7. In D8, that's our final bracket to look at. Hudson, White Pigeon, Decatur, and Centerville is your top district. They are 32 points better than the bottom district. Allen Park, Brady, Melvindale Academy for Business and Tech, Riverview, Gabriel, Richard, and Southfield, Bradford. To put this in perspective, Hudson, White Pigeon, and Decatur would be favored over every single team in that bottom district by more than 2 scores. And so they are, on average, 32 points better than that bottom district. And so, guys, just to summarize here, and I know I've been throwing a lot of data at you, the imbalances get worse as you go down. 2 of our most balanced brackets are D1 and D3. There's only 2 touchdowns between the best district and the worst district. That's not bad. It's really not bad. For relying on geography, I think we got to pat ourselves on the back there. But our most imbalanced divisions are all in the lower divisions. 7, 8, and 6 all have districts that are like 5 to sometimes close to 6 touchdowns worse on average than the other districts. And so just crazy amount of imbalances, 6 and 7 in particular. In 6, you've got the 3 of the top 5 teams that are going to be, only one's going to be there in round 3. That's crazy. And in 7, similar dynamic. 3 of the top 5 teams, only one of them is going to be there in round 3. So something to watch out for. Keep that in the back of your mind as you're watching the brackets play out, that we are going to be missing some of our better teams later on. And so that's what I've got for imbalances. Doak, anything you want to add here? I just went on a rant there. That's crazy.
No, I think you kind of covered it. That's the nature of geography or geographic districts and regionals. Sometimes you just get the short end of the stick. I know that happened to both of us in high school when we played. It happened to anybody else who played in high school when they played. That's Michigan high school football. It'd be interesting to see if they seeded it by region or by bracket side or something like that. But I don't know if that'll ever happen. It's been this way for a long time. So that's just the nature of the game, I guess.
Yeah, I will say, yeah, it is the nature of the game, isn't it? Well, let's keep the show moving. I want to talk about one of my favorite segments, which is who's favored to win it all in each division. And we can do this because we have the brackets and we know the team strength and we can kind of model it out. So yesterday, I uploaded to my site what the output of this analysis was. So we ran up the computer model sim. We simulated the computer model over the final brackets 1,000 times, and we had the output. And basically, we'll use D1 as a case study. Detroit Gas Tech won the title 25% of the time. And so they are your favorite. Now, if you listened earlier in the show, you might be saying, Cannon, the DCC is your best team in D1. How could they not be the favorite? Well, because their draw is much tougher than Gas Tech. And so the computer is saying, look, even though DCC is better, because upsets happen and not everything goes to plan, they actually only win 19% of the time versus 25%. And so that's what we're getting at here in this segment is who's the favorite in each division based on draw. So that's what we're going to walk through. Now, we're talking about D1, so let's just keep it going here. D1's actually pretty balanced. So we ran this simulation 1,000 times yesterday. It's on our website. Check it out. Out of 1,000 times, actually 13 different teams, 14 different teams won at least once. Even Rochester Hills Stony Creek won it at least once, down team number 15. So D1, fairly balanced here. Your top threat is Cass Tech, like I was saying. Detroit Catholic Central is not far off. They have 19% odds to win. East Kentwood, people are going to hate that. I don't see how that's possible, but again, just bear with us. They're 13% odds. Hudsonville, undefeated, 10% odds. Clarkston, 7. Rockford, 5. Grand Blanc, 4. Saline, because they have a nice draw, even though their team 8 has 10% odds. And probably just read off that way too much. So I'm going to just keep it a little snappier in these other divisions. So that, D1 now, you kind of know the whole picture. Really, what this is saying is expect Cass Tech and Catholic. Expect one of the two. About 45% chance of one of the two. In D2, it's a similar story, actually. So Orchard Lake St. Mary's is a 26% chance of winning it all. They are your favorites. But Portage Central, statistical leader in a lot of categories this year. Doak was just telling you about that. The Mustangs are 23% chance. So nearly equal odds. And so very balanced in D1 and D2. We've got some great title races. Not far off are Muskegon and Midland Dow. Both teams there have double-digit odds as well. And so don't be surprised. If any of those 4 teams come home with the title, don't be surprised. In D3, your title favorite, much less balanced. It's much less balanced here in D3, guys. This is one of the least balanced teams, or least balanced district or divisions. DeWitt is your favorite, 44% chance to win it all. King is your second favorite. They are 35% chance. So the sum total for those probability nerds out there, like myself, 80% chance it's either King or DeWitt. 80% chance. Do you believe that? That's what the computer's saying. So the team number 1 and team number 2. There is no other team with double-digit odds to win it all. Mount Pleasant and Lowell are your next closest at 9% and 5% respectively. But the computer's saying, hey, look, this is a 2-horse race. Pick one. Let's keep tabs on that as we go. So 1 and 2, very balanced odds. 3 and 3 so far, not so balanced. Let's jump down to 4. Somewhere in between our top 2 divisions, and Division 3 is 4. Harper Woods has a 31% chance of winning it all. They are your clear-cut favorite. They have double the odds of anyone else close to them. But Portland, Williamston, and Unity Christian all have double-digit odds. Portland at 15%, Williamston at 14%, and Unity Christian at 11%. Ludington, even though they're your team 3 and only 4 points worse than Harper Woods, does not have as good a chance because they've got a tough road to hoe. They got to play number 7, Big Rapids, in round 1. That's anytime you got to do that, that's going to bring your odds down. And so that's kind of the playoff picture there. Across D4, we simmed this, and we had 15 teams win it all. So it is fairly open from that perspective. 15 teams won it all at least once over our 1,000 simulations. Let's go to 5. 5 is incredibly balanced. It's one of our most balanced divisions. Your best team, GRCC, is not your favorite. And that is because, and I hinted at this earlier in the show, they got to go through West Catholic, who's team number 4 in their districts. So presumably those 2 teams are going to play in two weeks. They only have 19% odds. If they get through West Catholic, their odds will shoot up, obviously. That's how the math works. Your favorite, as we sit here in week 1 of the playoffs, is Notre Dame Prep, your reigning D5 state champion. They have a 27% chance to win it all. And so of your top 2 teams there, you sum it up, it's a coin flip whether Catholic Central or Notre Dame Prep wins or someone else. So do you take one of the 2 Catholic schools or someone else? That's sort of your D5 story. Other teams with double-digit odds to win at this point are Frankenmuth at 13, West Catholic at 13, Ogemaw Heights at 15. Those 5 teams make up the majority of your winners. Monroe Jefferson kind of sitting on the outside looking in with decent odds, 7% chance for Monroe Jeff. That is your story in D5. Kind of wide open, I would say. It's fairly wide open. I like D5. Could have one of 5 teams, maybe 6 there. D6. This may be your most lopsided division. I don't think anyone's going to be surprised by that. Lumen Christi is a steamroller that's been steamrolling for some time now. They have a 47% chance of winning it all as we sit here in week 1. I think that's the highest odds. It's definitely higher than DeWitt that we were just talking about. I don't know. I think it's going to be higher than anyone in D7 and D8. So that's your favorite. In D6, coin flip right now whether JLC wins it or not. That's what the computer's saying. The next closest is a litany of teams. There's no other team with double-digit odds. So Kingsley has 9% chance. They're your next closest. Traverse City St. Francis has an 8% chance. Belding has a 7% chance. And then it just kind of becomes a long list of others. So that's interesting. Let's see, whether JLC wins it all or not. They're certainly heavily favored too. In D7, now this one's a bit surprising. Based on the draw, Menominee has a great shot to win it all. Even though they're not that much better than number 2 Pewamo Westphalia, only 4 points better as we sit here today, they actually have some of the highest odds to win it all based on their draw. Menominee has a 45% chance to win it all as we sit here today. Pewamo Westphalia not far off. They've got 30% odds. So the sum total of those two, 75% chance it's either Menominee or Pewamo Westphalia at the end. 75% chance. The next closest, your D7 runner-up from last year, SMCC, has a 10% chance. Now, I just got done telling you that SMCC is in one of the tougher districts in the state. They're grouped in with Whiteford and Clinton, who are teams 4 and 5. Whoever emerges out of that district are going to see their odds shoot up. Right now, their odds are being killed by the fact that they all have to play each other, and only one team can advance. In the regional finals, I bet we're sitting here doing this pod, and we're saying, okay, wow, SMCC, Whiteford, and Clinton all have fairly high odds. That is your odds picture. Curiously enough, Millington, your reigning D7 state champion, has fantastic odds to make the finals again. Even though they're the 6th best team, they have a great draw. I just got done telling you they're in the weakest district in D7. Their spot, I love their spot in the bracket. I love their spot in the bracket to make a finals run. They actually have fairly good odds for being the 6th best team to make it. And then finally, let's do D8. D8, you kind of see the 2-horse picture here wash out the most clearly. Harbor Beach has 40% odds to win it all, 39%. And Hudson has 50.7% chance to win it all. The sum total of those two, 40 plus 50, anybody a math guy, that's 90% chance. It's one of our 2 orange and black D8 teams. Computer's saying 2-horse race here, guys. And honestly, when you add in Beale City at 8% chance, that's 98% chance it's one of those 3 teams. Do you disagree? Could it be someone else? Could it be a Saginaw Michigan Lutheran Seminary? Could it be a Fowler? Could it be a Saginaw New Bell Catholic Central? Could it be a Unionville Sebowing USA? Don't know. The computer's saying not really. There's not really a shot. It's going to be one of those 3 teams, and most likely one of the top 2 teams. So we'll keep tabs on that, guys. That's your 8 divisions, your favorites in each division. Now, if I were going to sum this up, you just heard your favorite in D1. That's Cass Tech. Your favorite in D2 is Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Your favorite in D3 is DeWitt. Your favorite in D4, Harper Woods. Your favorite in D5, Notre Dame Prep. Your favorite in D6, Lumen Christi. Your favorite in D7 is Menominee, and your favorite in D8 is Hudson. The computer will not get every single one of these right. In fact, based on these probabilities, we can tell you the expected number of teams we expect to get right. If you sum up the probabilities on each team, you get 2.9. So we expect to get 2.9 state champion picks right out of 8. I think last year we did this and we expected to get 3.2 out of 8. So things are a little more balanced this year. There's a little more parity. It's similar, but there's a little more parity. And so fact check me on that at the end of the day. Do we get 2 right? Do we get 3 right? Are we really lucky and we get 4 right? Are we really bad luck and we get 1 right? It's going to be somewhere in that distribution of outcomes, I would imagine. Let's keep tabs on it as the playoffs go. Let's do that. So that's my state champion favorites based on our website. If you want to pick through this, if your team made the playoffs and you disagree with anything I just said, head to our site and look at the predictions tab. And you can see this live for your team and go through it. And you can kind of look at the math, back into the numbers, shoot us questions, DM us, Twitter, Insta, comment on our YouTube, and we'll walk you through kind of what we're seeing. So that is projections. All right, let's finish up with one last segment. It's our most important segment. Let's do some predictions for round 1. All right, so guys, we have 128 games. So it's 256 teams left. Each team has a game. We've got 128 games. We have run those 128 teams through our computer model. And we've given them each a score based on team strength and how close the game's supposed to be. And so we're going to do that right now. We're going to tell you what the best game is in each division. So let's jump into it. In in D1, your best game is Utica and Macomb, Dakota. We've got Macomb, Dakota winning 19-17. Very close game, not a ton of points. That's your best game in D1. Your best game in D2 is actually your best game in the entire state. Roseville and Grosse Pointe South. We've got Grosse Pointe South winning 24-20 over Roseville. These two teams, no stranger to playing each other in the playoffs and in the regular season. Your third best game, or your second best game in the state, and your best game in D3 is EGR and Cedar Springs, both top 10 D3 teams playing in round 1. So crap draw. This one's a fun one. We've got the final score, 27-27. Slight edge to Cedar Springs. So they would be technically the favorite, but they're favorited by less than a point. So really a coin flip. Pick them. What do you got? Red Wings, Red Hawks, or Pioneers? Your best game in D4. Ludington and Big Rapids. These two have been staring each other down all year. Snooze has been making his maps. They've basically been playing each other in every single round 1 that you've got. We thought they'd both be undefeated. Big Rapids dropped one to Coopersville in week 8. Other than that, there's only one loss between them. Ludington hasn't been undefeated since 1989. Quite a historic season. I saw a tweet the other day that there are campers already being set up around on the hill around Ludington Stadium. That's fun. That's going to be a great environment. Between these two teams, it is Team 1 and Team 6 in D4 squaring off, something like that. So certainly should be playing in later rounds. We've got Ludington prevailing 31-23 over Big Rapids. Now, I say that Big Rapids is no stranger to playoff upsets. They had a huge win over Whitehall a couple years ago. A very good, a top-ranked Whitehall team. They beat them. Those who remember high school football and follow it closely will remember that. So there could be some craziness here. So watch out. That's your top game in D4. In D5, we got another close one, a rematch, a BWAC rematch. Both top 10 teams squaring off. This is your top district in D5. So your toughest district, Richmond and Armada. I believe Richmond beat Armada earlier in the year. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Richmond 21, Armada 20. Coming down to extra points there, guys. Make your extra points. So watch that one. It should be a slugfest. Two teams, no strangers to each other. Should be a good one. Best game in D6. We're going up north. Kingsley and Calumet. Calumet being your furthest north team in the entire state. Very, very top of Michigan. The Copper Kings will play Kingsley. 2 top 5 D7 teams. It's your top, or D6 teams. It's your top district in D6. These guys are squaring off round 1. We've got Kingsley 28, Calumet 21. 2 more to go. Top game in D7. This is not going to surprise anybody. Clinton and Whiteford squaring off. 2 top 5 D7 teams. Winner gets to likely take on SMCC, who's another top 5 D7 teams. Just a crazy district down there. Whiteford is projected to win 36-35 over Clinton. 36-35, again, coming down to extra points. Will it? And there's also going to be a crap ton of points. 71 is the over-under here. Do you believe that? Do you believe that 71 is the over-under? Is that the highest over-under in the state? No, there's one higher one. I'll get to that at the end. But that's the closest to the highest over-under in the state this week. So that's going to be a fun one. I wouldn't miss that one. If I were to pick a game, that's the one I'd be going to. I want to see a lot of points, and I want to see close. So check that one out. We've got one more here, and that's down in D8. I'm going to just pick up D8 here. D8 might not have that great of games this week. All right. We've got a great one. Both top 10 teams in D8. Rivals, private school rivals, just down the block from each other. I don't know how long of a walk it is from New Vale Catholic Central to Saginaw Michigan Lutheran Seminary. I don't think it's too long of a walk. I think you can walk it. Someone correct me on that if I'm wrong. Saginaw MLS 25, New Vale Catholic Central 23. It's a rematch from in season. Both top 10s and top 10 teams in D8 squaring off. And yeah, don't miss that one. So that is your top games in each division. I'm just going to run you through some other fun ones here, okay? Some other stats. So point spread. We got 2 pick'ems. I already told you about one. This is the top game in D3. That's EGR and Cedar Springs. That's a pick'em. We also got Edwardburg and Vicksburg as a pick'em this week. So 2 pick'ems in the state. A couple more 1-point spreads are Richmond and Armada. I already told you about that. Clinton and Whiteford. I already told you about that. Decatur and White Pigeon down in D8. That's a 1-point spread. Laker in Cass City, a thumb battle, is a 1-point spread. And then in the Detroit Burbs, we got Cousino and Seaholm as a 1-point spread as well. So that's, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 point spreads this week. Crazy.
Welcome to the playoffs.
Yep. Big spreads, your biggest spread games, we've got a fair amount of mismatch here. So we've got 7 games with 50-point spreads. Hudson and Centerville, DeWitt and Owasso, Millington and Bendel, Ann Arbor favorite Father Gabriel Richard and Cody, USA and Genesee, Lumen Christi and Onstead, and Beale City and Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart all have a 50-point spread or more. Well, we saw last week a 47-point dog won. Taylor beat Woodhaven. So it is possible. It is possible. Let's do over-unders. This is always fun. Where is there going to be no points this week? Drum roll. Madison Heights, Lamphere, and Redford Union are going to be in a slugfest. It's going to be 13-5. If you believe that score, I would probably round up to 6 if I were actually doing the over-under here, because it's very hard to score 5 in a football game. We've got Lamphere winning 13-5 is our official score. That is the lowest over-under in the entire state. It's the only one below 20 points. What are you taking? You taking the over? Taking the under there? Probably take the over. I would probably take the over. Other over-unders below 30. Warren Michigan Collegiate expected to win 23-0. Kalamazoo Hackett Catholic Prep and Hopkins, very good game. Not a lot of points. 16, Hackett 16, Hopkins 11. I might round up to 16-12 or something like that. 11, again, is a hard score. In D8, Waterford Our Lady of the Lakes and Clarkston Everest Collegiate. We've got Clarkston Everest 18, Waterford Our Lady 9. And then those are all your over-unders below 30. Over-unders higher than 30. Madison Heights Madison and Auburn Hills Oakland Christian. We've got Madison Heights Madison scoring 58 and Auburn Hills Oakland Christian scoring 14. That's your highest over under the state, 72. Dexter and Livonia Franklin, there's going to be a lot of points here, and it's a relatively closer game for that level of points. We've got Dexter scoring 48, Livonia Franklin scoring 24. I told you about Clinton and Whiteford. They're your third team with a 70-plus point over-under. Again, Whiteford, 36, Clinton, 35. Those are your three highest-scoring games in the state this week, and go there if you like points. So that is your playoff picture for week one. Doak, anything else you want to interject? I've kind of stolen the show today.
No, I guess I would say, I'm just intrigued by a couple regions. I'm locked into that Clinton Whiteford SMCC region, and then also, you can see the fourth highest over under is Grand Blanc Oxford, and they're in a doozy of a district. You got one of the best offenses in the state playing one of the best teams in the state in Grand Blanc versus Oxford, and then on the other side of that district is Davison versus Clarkston, and just what a bloodbath. That's going to be a tough district. And I'm just excited to see how that plays out. And I'm just, it's like March Madness for me. And we love this time of year, seeing who can pull off upsets and who's for real, whose rating holds up, whose doesn't. There will be a lot of shifting this week because there's so many teams from different, non-typical matchups that'll collide and give us a lot of information about who's for real, who's not for real, and that sort of thing. So I'm just excited.
All right. Well, me too. And that's the pod. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment below any other segments you want to see. We only got 4 more weeks of doing this, so comment below.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Make sure you follow our socials. We're live on TikTok, or not TikTok. We're live.
I don't know.
Mention the only social media we don't have. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We have a newsletter that comes out every Friday. Make sure you subscribe to that. We just give a rundown of all the week's social posts and send it straight to your inbox on Friday morning. And then we also have the pod, which you're listening to. And if you got to this point, please subscribe. If you're not, we really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy doing it. But yeah, and then our site, we'll link that in the description below, and have at it with all your predictions and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we appreciate you guys stopping in, listening to us yap about high school football. And yeah, good luck in the playoffs to all the teams playing. And if you're just a spectator like us, good luck watching. I know it's hard to watch all the good games at once. So yeah, we appreciate you guys, and see you next week.